Hi, I'm Child of Bones, and I was going to speak to you today about some of the questions that I get asked on my website. So at the moment I'm trying to just do little short video clips on the most frequently asked questions that we get in. And so the first question that I get asked quite a bit is, do I think all women are goddesses, or do I view myself as a goddess? And as a practicing witch, actually I would say, if there was an easy answer, no, I don't. And the reason I don't think I am a goddess is because I believe I'm a child of the goddess, and I think there's a slightly different power stance in that. And I think it's lovely that we use the word goddess more frequently these days, and I think we also band around the word empowerment and you know, empowered women and goddesses and things like that, and I think that's really nice. I think it's nice that we use the word frequently in our conversations, and I also think it's nice you can buy paraphernalia that says, you know, goddess within and things like that. I also think it's totally acceptable for lay people to say to their boyfriends or their girlfriends, you know, treat me like a goddess, the goddess I am, and all that's good. And I think as a practicing witch, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anyone else in their training and, you know, their daily practice in witchcraft. For me, I've been really lucky that I've been able to travel in my life, and I've learnt lots of things from indigenous cultures, and I've been exposed to shamans and witch doctors in you know, lots of different countries around the world, and I'm really grateful for that experience. And there's been a couple of shamans that I was lucky enough to spend time with and learn their indigenous medicines, and one shaman in particular taught me or exposed me to what I believe is truth for me regarding seeing ourselves as gods. And this always rung true for me, and I think that's really important in any belief system in your life, that it's about what rings true for you. And his message certainly did for me. And that was about, the reason it fitted for me was because the way I perceive my magical work and how I perceive the Child of Bones magic working and what works for me is not to be subservient to the gods in a kind of really powerless position. Not that. It's not about being, you know, a peeled zero and feeling that, you know, that you're very, very small and insignificant. It's like having a bit of self-esteem, but feeling in a way that, you know, that you're in a different playing field to the gods. And I believe that the way magic is best perceived for me is that when I wield magic, I see the gods or the god's power as something that I'm tapping, like a current, if you like. So if I was exposed to the ocean, for example, you know, you could be buoyant in the ocean and you can drink some of the ocean and you can taste and smell the ocean, but I don't ever believe I'm the sea. It's too vast. The energy is too massive. It's too big. It's all encompassing. It can be kind. It can be brutal. It could be a tsunami. It could be a little rock pool. You know, it's so massive, the power. Dealing with archetypal forces of nature are gigantic. I see God forms as similar to something, an element like the sea. It's vast, it's deep. There's no way I could transverse all of it. I see myself, if I was connected to the sea, if I was a mermaid, as part of it, but certainly not naming myself it. When I work with the gods or goddesses or god forms, I see that I open myself up, depending on the spell, of course, and the alignment of energy, and I allow the God force, I ride it, or allow it to flow through me into the spell and out. I'm certainly can be sometimes what feels like a bit of a vessel for that energy, or you help to mold it, or you try your best with any kind of magical skill you have to try and shape the power, or at least try and contain it so it could go where you need it to go, but you don't ever hope to have dominance over the ocean. you know, you try and channel a part of it, of the sea, to, you know, to maybe learn to surf, or, you know, that you use it sometimes to fish in, but you never kind of feel that you could ever say that you could embody the whole ocean and it's you. You're just like using small aspects of it. That's how I perceive it. I perceive that I'm a child of the goddess. I'm not a goddess. And the thing is too, there's something about the way that that category for me works, and I don't know if it's my personality or I really don't know. It just works for me that when I petition, because I like to feed the gods, you know, and when I petition the gods for their attention, or others would say when they pray to the gods or they do a ritual specific to a god form, you know, I'm very comfortable at seeing like the mother goddess, for example, or seeing the crone as my grandmother. I'm very comfortable in a familiar sense that they're like in an exalted position to me, and that I ask their favour. And maybe some people in their life experiences and their life walk are uncomfortable with seeing them as you know, in that position of, say, maybe what they could perceive as authority. And I think that's totally acceptable. I think anyone, you know, anyone that's getting something out of magic or works with God forms, I mean, you know, I think it's all to be celebrated, and there's no right or wrong. This is just me answering a question. Do I see myself as a goddess? Do I think that we are all gods or goddesses? No, I don't. I like I said, I see myself as a child of the goddess. When I ride that vast power, which I can only describe as, you know, as ocean or wildfires, I'm trying to contain a very small aspect, a stream of power. I'm riding a force that's way bigger than me, and I'm comfortable in seeing when I petition to the gods for safety, when I petition to the gods, you know, just for the celebration or the joy, or you know, in the honour of their presence, then I see myself as not small with no self-esteem, with the enjoyment and the love and the pleasure of honouring a god form. That's how I see it, and I'm okay that we're child of gods. So that's the one question. I think I got a bit rambly there, but I hope I was clear enough. Now the other question, which is kind of like similar to that question really, is someone with shamanic experience said to me once that they, in the way that they perceived the powers that they worked with, that they didn't believe that they were, to their own powers, that they needed to go on bended knee, basically. And I think that that's fine too, because when you work shamanically, it is different to witchcraft. I think that there's a lot of crossover there, a lot of similarities, but I think also that, you know, depending on the style, depending on the training, I believe anyway, certainly with shamans and witches that I've managed to be lucky enough to spend time with in different cultures, there's some fundamental differences. And shamans, I think, do have some differences that I've certainly enjoyed watching as a witch, watching them work, and that is very filled up. My impression, I'm not talking about all types of shamanism, obviously, and I'm talking about individuals I've met, not talking about shamanism as a whole, if we could remember that, please. But it's about being filled up, and I believe the shamans that I've been lucky enough to work with in different cultures, they're really filled up, you know, they're like roosters with big chests, and they walk around and they've got power, and you can feel it. It's kind of tangible, you know, and I think it's really lovely. And they kind of like, you know, part of the healing when they deal with the community, and when the community, especially Indigenous, when they go and seek help from the shaman is strong, the shaman is well, and the shaman is, you know, quite, you know, robust, and dispenses the medicine or the cure or whatever it is that they're treating, be it bad luck or, you know, a snake bite, whatever it is. So any of that, it's dispensed with absolute confidence and air, you know, that there's a There's a really lovely thing to witness shamans in communities where they dispense the medicine, and part of it, I believe, is that, you know, they're so convincing because they believe in what they're doing, and that's conveyed to the person that feels either victimized by bad luck or is in pain and suffering and scared for their health because they've been bitten by something poisonous, that what's conveyed is utter confidence that this is going to work, and that's cool. Yeah, now, so I see shamans as containing a lot of their personality when they're dispensing their medicines or their cures, and witches, on the other hand, everyone's different. Again, I can only speak about individuals I've seen, not the whole of any one body of belief. There's something slightly different, and certainly the witches that I know well and that I respect, all of us wouldn't necessarily mind when power turns up about bending the knee. And when I say that, I'm not saying one's better than the other, it's just a different style, really. When power turns up, like the death goddess, the death hag, I've never bowed or curtsied to any living person that I can remember. I haven't met the Queen. I guess I'd have to in that circumstance, maybe. Well, it'd be rude not to. But it was a natural inclination the first few times I met the death goddess, and I always do it, even after the first few times. It is a tilt of the head. It's a natural inclination for my body to bow or to go on bended knee. There's an energy about that is, and I don't believe it's being subservient. There's something about, it's just, you know, when your body does something and you don't even know that why it did it, it's like this utter respect for that God form. And you so feel it when she comes, that, you know, that it's such an honor. And that's the difference. It's such an honor, it's such a respect about actually that your body just naturally bends its knee. And my personality isn't even signed up to that in day-to-day reality. Trust me, it's not. So, you know, I just think that there's with God forms, and like I said, I can't speak for all witches, I can't even speak for all shamans, of course I can't, but just there is a slight difference in perception of power. Maybe I didn't give a great example about a shaman having full confidence when he delivers powers and healing, but I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time with them, and especially taking power plants in ceremonies and stuff, and they maintain a very vibrant, very confident energy that's really high. Witches that I've seen in practice, that I know well, that are my friends, that I've trusted for years, that I really respect, you know, really strong men and women, but yeah, they really get it. Like when the power turns up, yeah, you bow the knee to that one, and we all kind of get it, and we can all laugh about it, that, you know, you can maintain this level of interaction in your day-to-day reality and in ritual hold your own, but there is just some powers that you just think, whoa, here we go, thank you for turning up.